Hey, g'day traders, Sam here again. I'll be doing an assessment on Ethereum, a technical analysis at the macro level, and then where we are currently. Give you reasons as to why we find resistance at this level, and my assessment as to what's possible in the coming days, weeks, and then quickly touch on Bitcoin. Now, here I have the weekly resistance based on the previous all-time high, and if you can see from a macro level, we can see that we did break it, and we found some significant resistance at this level. That could be due to a few things. Let's use the Fibonacci for from the get-go. I'm going to do the Fibonacci extension to the top, to the bottom, to this bottom here, and you can see that we have hit the 1.1414, which is pretty close, if not almost exact, resistance point. So we didn't hit the golden ratio, but we did hit the one below it. So that is a well-known number. If we were to use Fibonacci retracement, we'll start from the bottom to the previous high and go across, and you can see that pretty much agrees as well. So this area, these three are well known for taking profit, and that's what's happened here. So the Fibonacci explains one aspect to it. If we go down to the daily, we'll look at the structure, and the structure for Ethereum. Let's just maybe click on auto, make it easier for me. Okay, so what we have, if we were to put a straight line that shows that the trend had a resistance there, many touches, and you can see from the get-go that this was an ascending wedge, which obviously broke down from that point and dropped to its target area and main support, which it has confluence with a Fibonacci level of 1. Okay, so what it did was went to its all-time new high, retested the previous all-time high, and up it went. Now it has a double top, and what are the chances of it going to a double bottom? Well, let's look at that. So that's the reason why we are going sideways at the moment. What we have here as well, if you look on the daily in detail, let's click the top, downward pressure. Let me make this transparent, and you can see all these wicks. So we can argue that's a top formation distribution using those wicks on the daily. And once we break down, we can confirm the target by the height, bring that height to the point of breakout, and say it's potentially going to this level of 1500. So let me just put that line there as a point of reference. And let's put a Fibonacci against that. The wick to the top. And let's reverse it. I don't want the pricing. No, to the right. And we can see. There you go. So it's come down to the 0.382 level, or the 618 if you reverse this. So that's what we have currently going. I can also argue that it's not an ascending triangle, but triangle like that. If that's the case, it's a bit deeper, and we point a breakout. So this is the level again. So we have two things that confirm the target, and we're pretty much close enough, and that was probably it. So we've hit the target for this structure, and if that's the target, and if we were to continue up, we can use that as a reference point, and we can use the top area as a reference point, and you can see that we are starting to take a big macro structural formation, and hopefully it's a bullish one. And let's apply the ABCDs. If that was point A, point B, point C, D will probably have a big struggle here, and point E. So we could potentially draw our structure this way. And if that was the bullish formation, we get the high. So if we enter here and our breakout somewhere there, we're going to do a new all-time high, which is about 2,000, which is about the 1.272 level to the 1.4. So that is the target if we take that formation. And if Bitcoin doesn't drop any further, it stays up and rallies from this point where we are now. So that's, yeah, 2091 to 2180. That's what I got based on this. A lot of assumptions. Okay, if it was to break down from here and continue down, then I'll look at it from a different perspective. I'll apply the wedge, not the wedge, sorry, the parallel channel. We have these 2 points already given. So let me extend that. And you can see there's confluence with the midpoint of this. So let me hide these for future reference. Let's just get rid of all that. Hide it. Clean chart. One more to hide. And that could be the big structure of a bullish formation or continuation pattern. So the worst case scenario in this way is we have a little bounce. We'll go down to this level where there's a lot of support, and then we bounce up and potentially a double bottom, find another support, and then up we go. So that's I suppose the second bullish scenario for Ethereum. Okay, that's what I have at the moment. Give you an explanation from a lot of angles, from the Fibonacci to structural. Let me just add the moving averages to see where we are with this. So let me put on the moving averages of 10 and 20. Actually, my script should do that. Okay, so let me just hide these buggers. We're on the daily, yep. So daily, you can see that we are having a crossover. So I've got this purple line signifying that the 10 and 20 are just crossed over. So that's not good. The last time we had that was here, and we had a major dip. So this potentially could be a big dip. We haven't looked at the indicators at the moment, so we'll do that as well. Let me add the weekly. Let me add the weekly moving average of 10. Excuse me for a sec. The postman arrived. Okay, and so where's that? Let's add that on. That's okay. So we can see that's where the support's coming. So that's the weekly 10 moving average. which is confluent for support. And let's look at the 20 weekly moving average. And there you go. So based on what I've said, based on the Fibonacci and the channel, we have the 10 and the 20 weekly moving average also in confluence. So I'm pretty happy with that. So it really depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin holds, then Ethereum's likely to do the other scenario, which is that. And if Bitcoin doesn't hold, then we are going to drop further down to this level of 1300 for low 1400s. So that's my assessment on Ethereum. And we'll jump quickly onto Bitcoin and see what's happening there. Actually, before I do that, let's look what the indicators say. Just missed that. Jumping ahead, I'll throw in my template for Bitcoin and looking at Ethereum. If I was to enter Ethereum, let me look at the 12-hour. Okay, so what we have here with Ethereum on the 12-hour, stochastic has crossed over, RSI is turning around. Maybe we'd like to see a bit of a bullish divergence like that, while price might come down a bit to this level or where it is at the moment. A bullish divergence is a bonus, but not necessary. We see on the 10 that the MACD is still downward pressure. We want to see these lines starting to converge. So this histogram should give us a clue. This is a good sign. The oranges are leveled off. Also, this is a good sign that's leveled off. And you can see the grey energy going up. If it's above 50%, then we have a bit of bullish momentum following through. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be big, but there's on the 12-hour, we're seeing some positive signs at the moment. On the daily, we haven't had that yet, so we probably need a nice bullish candle to at least half of that candlestick. And let's delete that. The MACD is still, the MACD is just dropped below zero. However, with the other two, we're seeing a leveling off on the bottom. So there is some good news coming from that. Long way to go because just like Bitcoin, the green and the red RSI are below 50%, and we've got a long way to go for it to go above. So the longer period, there's still downward pressure. Shorter period of 12, we're seeing positive signs. If we look at 8 hour, 8 hours basically neutral, and 4 hour is basically the same as well. So nothing positive yet, nothing negative at this point. So if you're interested in Ethereum, that's my assessment. Now let's go to Bitcoin. And if you can notice, the wicks, give it a few hours and see what kind of wicks there are. If it turns out to be many wicks at this level, and you get this green type of bullish candlestick, then it's a good signal to jump in Bitcoin. I'm aware of the time constraints and looking at Bitcoin, nothing significant at the moment. Again, on the 4 hour, it's just leveling off. Not positive, to tell the truth. There's a bit of a bullish divergence on the RSI. Similarly with potentially the MACD, and so that's building up. And I would say we would need four candles on the 4 hour to similar to this, or we don't have that scenario. So I'm looking for the stochastic to cross over. I'm looking at this to go up to the 50%, and this is only the 4 hour, so it's still a long way to go. 12 hour, it's very downward pressure Bitcoin, so it's not looking good in the long term. and the daily just the same as the previous. We got the crossovers and all in the below 50% on the daily. So there is a lot of downward pressure, and it wouldn't surprise me that we have a little bounce, a dip actually, to this level, to the previous daily support. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a good level. Got confluence here, wicks, and the body of the candle. So what's that? Yeah, 50,800 or so. So it wouldn't surprise me that we get 1 or 2 wicks, and I have my orders there in the low 50s. I've already entered in the mid 51k, so I had orders there as well. So what I do is I put my orders in a range, and if I'm lucky to get the dip, great. So that's a bonus. So I just spread my orders across. So that's my assessment on Bitcoin at the moment. I do expect a bounce, but on the 12 and the daily, it's still downward pressure. All right, that's it for me, guys. Please give me a like, and even better, share this around. Thank you.